Hi, devotees.
Devotees. I'm Natasha.
I'm Janie.
I'm Jill.
Yay, special
Special
guest! A few things before we start today's episode. This is an adult-rated podcast. We do say adult things and discuss adult-related topics. So keep that in mind when listening with little ears around. And we will be getting very much into the weeds today because we are doing a very special episode. Jill, what are we doing today?
We are doing Assistant to the Villain series. I don't know what the whole thing's called.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the series. I think it is Assistant to the Villain, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
So we
look it up every time.
We literally have, because we're like, it's like the A villain to the something. I don't know. We split it up in a couple different ways, devotees. So each of us decided to take on a book because there are 3 books before Adversary to the Villain comes out. Natasha's going to put that on screen when that book comes out because it's pretty much like a week or so away at this point when this episode actually comes out. So we know that everyone needed a recap of this wonderful, funny series. So we split it up in 3 different ways. I'm taking book 1, Jill is taking book 2, and Natasha is rounding out the trilogy. About to be quadrilogy? What do you call that? It's just a series at that point. Just a series at that point.
Series.
And so that's the way that we've decided to split it up. So Hannah Nicole Mayer is the author of this series.
All right, are we ready for book 2, guys?
Yes.
All right. Book 2, Apprentice to the Villain. So we where we left off was obviously the villain's taken. Evie's like, what the actual fuck? Like, my love, he's gone. Like, I need to get him back. Like, she's like, I'm ready to do whatever it fucking takes. She's like, I'll be a fucking villain to get him back. So, we find out that Tristan was kind of like, obviously he has distance with his brothers and sisters, and like he's like oldest sibling, and he's kind of like emo, you know? And so like he doesn't really hang out with anyone except the village's baker, which is Edwin, who is also the chef. Love Edwin at
I love Edwin.
at Massacre Manor, the villain's home. They lovingly call it Massacre Manor. And so that's like the only person he was really friends with. Like he felt like his siblings were like having fun without him type of thing. And so he really felt like an outcast. And then he gets an apprenticeship basically from the king. The king's like, "Hey, yo, come to me. I know you got magic. We kind of want to figure out what kind of magic you got going on, and like we'll train your magic." So he's like, doing all this training with I forget what the specialists, I think they're called, are like the people that train magic. He's working with the specialists and also like helping King Benedict. Like he thinks him and King Benedict are fucking toy. And so like he's getting stronger, He kind of like didn't really know what his magic was, but the specialist kind of had an idea, and like he's like, why is everyone like kind of like off put by me? Like no one really wants to hang out. The specialist kind of like keeps his distance. Like the only one I can really talk to is King Benedict. So like he's thinking he's getting so tight with King Benedict. All of a sudden King Benedict's like, dungeon with you. And Tristan's like, what the fuck? Like we were cool. Like why are you throwing me in the fucking dungeon? And King Benedict's like, yeah, so your magic, like, we thought maybe, like, it could be helpful for us, but, like, you're just too dangerous, so we're gonna put you in the dungeon. So he's in King Benedict's dungeon. It's cold. It's dark. He can't see shit. All of a sudden, he just has the Valiant Knights, King Benedict's Knights, just beating the shit out of him every hour of the day. He doesn't know what time it is. He can't, it's pitch black, and he just gets beat up randomly throughout the day. He's like on the brink of like dying. Like he's like, I'm gonna fucking die here. Like this sucks. I hate my life. And then all of a sudden, like one time when the knights are beating his shit up, his power comes out and it's like this mist and he fucking kills them. And he can see in the dark now with his power. And so that's how he escapes. He kills the knights, like breaks open the bars, whatever, escapes. And that's the whole reason he became the villain. And so we find out that backstory in this book, and like it sucks because he's back in the cell that he was in before. He's getting beat up again. It's dark. They put like these cuffs on him where he can't use his magic, so he can't see in the dark. He can't free himself. King Benedict's like torturing him, asking him questions. He's like, I'm not gonna answer shit for you, blah, blah, blah. And like, for some reason, the king's asking him questions about the prophecy, Renadon's prophecy, which we kind of hear is like this like children's story. And the villain's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't give a fuck about this prophecy. Like, the fuck? We also find out, too, while he's getting tortured, because the king's like, you're not getting out of here, so fuck you. The mysterious illness that like can't be cured. I guess I assume even the core healers can't heal it. They didn't really talk about that. But this mysterious illness that Becky's grandmother has and Evie's dad they thought had was actually because the king kept the Guvra, the female Guvra, for so long. And so they're called Fate's creatures. So that's like the punishment that the kingdom got because of it. So he's like, yeah, by the way, that just so happens to be why we have this mysterious illness. Yes,
That's
he
not
does.
good. That's freaking not good. Oh no. And he
Freaking
knew about it? That's really not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the king knew about it. He's not telling it anyone. He's basically saying it's like he's gonna tell everyone it's the villain's fault. And he has this whole plan where he's gonna reveal the villain and his last victim because he's like Otto Warson, the blacksmith, is gonna kill her and bring her to me. And so Knight comes back to King Benedict. We get the Knight's POV. We don't know who the Knight is. We get his POV though, so you're like, the fuck? He must be important. This is the night that helps Evie escape after she beheads Warson, the blacksmith. Yes, ma'am.
I have a prediction.
Okay.
I think I know who the knight is.
Okay.
And I
okay.
predicted this from the first book. I think
Oh,
it's
shit.
her brother.
Okay, we will get to who the knight is, but first we get the knight's chapter. So he's been working for King Benedict for a little bit now. You know, but he seems like he still doesn't really like King Benedict. He helped Evie escape, and then he's telling King Benedict he's gonna bring him Evie's dead body within a week, which we're like, how the fuck are you gonna do that? Evie's still alive. You know, she strung up Otto Warson's head in the villain's manner because she is becoming a villain. She's becoming like her employer, if you will.
Evie's
Wait,
amazing
did you
in
want to say
this.
something?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say Evie was
she's
amazing.
like becoming a badass. She's really becoming a badass.
Yeah. Love it.
So then we don't get any chapters from Evie during this whole beginning part. Then the knight brings Evie's dead body. And we're like, huh? But like we heard from the last book that, you know, I'm gonna have to die. So we're like, there must be like some kind of plan in here. So her dead body's there, and then Tristan tries to escape because they were like gonna move him somewhere, and they're like, no, 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 don't go there, don't go there. And then King Benedict's like, nah, let him go there. Let him open that door. So he opens the door. It's Evie's dead body, and he's like he is so upset. He's like, I will do anything if you wake up. Like I command you to wake up. I'll do tea parties with Lissa if you wake up. Like please anything. And like he's like crying and but like I don't think it's like I think he's like secretly crying, like trying to hide the tears kind of situation. And then key point, which I forgot to note down, he kisses Evie's hand. That is very important. which I didn't realize till I finished the book that it was really important. So I didn't write it down, but I remember that. And then fast forward to the actual King Benedict's gonna unmask the villain and show his last victim. So he has the villain up on the. It's like a whole party. They're on the stage. He's got the villain up on the stage, like bag over his head. I'm picturing villain's dad, bag over his head. It's like, oh, that's people he works with. And then they show Evie's dead body. I'm kind of picturing it like Snow White, where where she's got like the glass basically covering over her. And so the king's like, blah 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 blah, this is the villain that's sucks. He made the illness, like he's doing all this shit, blah 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 blah. I'm about to unmask him. Then all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, where's the dead body? Where's the dead body? There's no dead body over there." And they're like, "Where the fuck did the dead body go?" Everybody's so confused. And then all of a sudden you see Evie like from the rafters, and she's like, "Haha, I'm actually alive. I'm not actually a dead body. Haha, you thought. But like King Benedict, you suck." And then he's like, "Oh my god, she's not his last victim. She's actually a witch. She's actually his accomplice," which is title of the book, or sorry, apprentice, title of the book. So she's unmasked as his apprentice. And then she saves the villain, saves the dad, but then the villain's like, "No, no, no, unmask me. Unmask me. Show everybody my face. I want them to know. I want them to know who I am." So she's like, "I don't think that's a good idea." And he's like, "No, you were unmasked. I'm gonna be fucking unmasked." So she's like, "All right, whatever," and takes it off of him. Everybody sees, "Oh my god, he's hot. He's not actually this gross fucking creature that's the villain." Yeah, he doesn't have fucking horns and breathing fire or anything like that. So they escape. Woohoo! Everybody's happy. The villain's alive, and Evie's kind of like, ha ha ha, like, I'm so smart. I'm not gonna tell him like what my plan was because, you know, I'm so smart and I want him to guess, I guess. She's keeping it from him, like what happened. Now we understand that she steals part of Renadon's prophecy, and because now we know it's important because King Benedict's like obsessed with it now. So they're like, clearly it's kind of important. And she gets one page, and the villain's like, "Why the fuck do you only have one page?" She's like, "That's all I could fit in my dress." So she has a page of Renadon's prophecy, and then big reveal: the Knight's Gideon, her brother. Janie guessed right. Yeah, she's like hugging him and everything, and the villain's like, I'm about to murder this guy." And right before he murders him, she's like, "That's my brother. Like, calm down." So now they're all living at the villain's mansion because she can't really go back home after all the shit went down with her dad, like, and now the whole kingdom knows she's an apprentice to the villain. So they're like, nobody fucking likes her. So she has to stay at the manor with the villain, and her brother's staying there and her sister's staying there. And then the brother's getting like watched by his like special knights and everything because he's like, I don't really trust you. Like, you were just working for King Benedict. Like, that's crazy. And so they're like, "Oh my god, we need Stardust." They're like, Stardust is going to be really, really important because the prophecy talks about star power, basically. And so they're like, "Oh my god, like, my mom's the only one." Were you gonna say something?
I said, right. A star power. Who has that power? The mommy. The mommy.
Yeah, so in the Renadon's prophecy that it says the person who saves the magical lands will take fate's youngling well in hand. When fate and starlight magic fall together, the land will belong to you forever. But be aware the unmasked villain and their malevolent dark, for nothing is more dangerous than a blackened good heart. So they're like, starlight magic, Evie's mom. So they're like, you know what we need? fucking Stardust. They're like, Stardust is gonna bring us to Evie's mom. There was actually some kind of poem. In the letters. Evie remembers in the letters from her mom. There's this dirty, dirty part of the poem, but really it's talking about a certain location and to find Stardust. So it's talking about like between two kissing trees in this like secret cave. So they're like, Evie, you're a fucking idiot. Like that's an actual place. And she's like, what? And the villain's like, yeah, we're gonna go there right now. Clearly that's important if that's like all you could figure out from the letters. There's the letters that she got from like she stole from her dad's office. They were like super smudged and like you could barely like read anything, but you could read that. So they're like has to be important. They go to the cave. There's like this spirit thing. I kind of picture it like the Baldur's Gate thing that you like can't get through. It's like a soldier, but like it's a spirit soldier, if you will, and it like doesn't age. It's not a person. Hence why it's like that thing in Baldur's Gate. I think that's literally where it came from, like where she like thought of that. But basically it's just to like protect the entrance to the cave and like doesn't let anyone in. And if you try too hard, like it will kill you. And like there's no way to kill it or like get around it or anything. Like creators, which are like the gods of this world who made the world, they're the ones that like created that thing to protect this cave for some reason. And so they're like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Evie's like, you don't have any plan? And they're like, I don't know. And then Evie's just like, hey, can I please go by you? And he's like, I mean, he doesn't make any expressions, but he's just like, like, go ahead. And then so she goes and she's like, see, all you had to say was please, like, hello. And the villain's like, what? And like he follows her and then the floor comes out from under them somehow and they're just falling and they land on a cloud. And Evie's like, "Oh my god, this is so nice. Like I love clouds. Oh my god, it's so soft." She jumps off and he's like, "Oh, wait. It's so far down. You're going to break a leg." And she's like, "Oh my god, relax." And she like lands on this really soft grass. Like, and all of a sudden there's like this random creature, random like mythological creature, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's the murderous guy from the little dirty poem." And they're like, "Oh my god, he's gonna murder us." The villain's like, "Stand back, like I'm gonna use my mist stuff." But he's like, "I don't think my mist stuff's gonna work." Like he's like made by the creators. And then he's like, the creature's like, "Who goes there? What's your name?" And Evie's like, "Oh, I'm Evie Sage. Like, what's good? How are you? How are you, more importantly? What's your name?" And the creature's like, "Oh my god. Like, you didn't just immediately attack me. Like, you talked to me. Like, you're chill." And she's like, "You know, I really like everything the creators made. I love the trees." And he's like, "I made those trees. Mm-hmm. I made those trees, so I'm glad you like them." And he's like, "Here's some Stardust. You're pretty chill. Like I can't wait to see you again. Like please come back." And Tristan's like, "Whoa, can you like tell us like information? Like do you know where her mom is or anything like that?" He's like, "Sorry, Chief. I actually can't give out any information. You guys kind of have to figure it out on your own. That's like the whole thing, but you're really important, so I like you too." And then so they leave. They're like, "Okay, bye." And he's like shoots them up on a cloud to like bring them out of this thing. It's supposed to be like the sky, I guess. And they're like, "Okay, bye. We love you. Like you're pretty chill. You're a pretty chill dude." So they leave. They go back to the mansion. Somehow accidentally spill the stardust. They're like, "Oops." Spill the stardust. And then like the table they spilled it on becomes like a map. And it's like lights up at this Heart Village place, and we find out that Evie's cousin, she used to write to her who lived in Heart Village, but she's like, "Yeah, I haven't heard from her like in a while, so that kind of sucks. But like let's go to Heart Village. Like that's pretty cool." They go, it's her, Tristan, Tatiana, and Claire. Like that's kind of like the group that we get going. I didn't
Sometimes
think he
Kingsley
was-
makes an appearance too.
Yes, yes, Kingsley was there on this one. He stowed away with them. Oh yeah, they went on horses here, and they're like kind of laughing and joking and like talking about Kingsley, like they knew him, like they've known him forever. And she's like, what do you mean?" Or and he's talking about how he had like a best friend back in the day,
Hmm.
and she's like, "Oh, who?" And he's
Hmm.
like, "Not important." So they just like get real quiet, and they're like, "We didn't say anything. I don't. What do you what do you mean there was another person besides the siblings Tatiana and Tatiana? What?" Anyway, so she's like, "Okay, whatever. I'll just drop it. He'll tell me when he wants to tell me, whatever." They get to this bridge. So you have to cross this bridge to get to Heart Village. You can't get there without crossing the bridge. There's like I picture them like water monsters coming up from under the bridge, you know? And basically you can't pass unless they let you. And usually they ask you a riddle before you can pass. So they're like, okay, they'll ask a riddle like, Tristan, just like pretend you're not here because they don't like you because you like blew up the bridge one time or something. And Evie's dumbass sniffs a fucking flower. She's like, "Oh my god, this flower smells so good." Bitch gets fucking like high and drunk off this flower. Like she's fucking out of it. She's like la 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 la. Everything is perfect. I'm so happy. La 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 la. And Tristan's like, "Fuck my life." Like and he's like, "Hey, y'all remember me?" River under the bridge monsters are like, "We fucking remember you. Fuck, I hate you. What are you doing here? Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not fucking letting you in here." And then Evie's like, "Oh my god, you're so pretty." And she's like, "Okay, who are you? Are you Tristan's little boo thing? Okay." They're like, "Okay, Tristan, we'll let you pass. We'll let you pass, but only if this clearly drunk high girl solves our riddle." Okay? She has to solve the riddle, or else you're not fucking going through here. You can't help her. No hints. Nothing like that. Okay? And Tristan's like, "Fuck." He's like, "There's no way. There is no way she's gonna fucking solve this riddle." They ask her the riddle, and Tristan's like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck. You can't ask her something simple? Like, you know she's fucking drunk and high, and you're over here asking her this hard-ass riddle, like, I don't even fucking know the answer." And they're like, "Shut the fuck up and let her answer, okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, like, why don't you believe in me? Like, I can definitely do this riddle." And he's like, "Bro, you're fucking out of your mind. Like, what are you talking about?" And she's like, "You always say people underestimate me. And then like they're like kind of going back and forth, and the river people are like, or the under the bridge people are like, "Okay, answer the riddle now, or like you're not going." And she's like, "Obviously, I know the answer's this." And they're like, "Oh shit!" Like she knew the answer, you know. And then she starts like skipping down the bridge, and Tristan's like, "Fuck, I gotta go get her." And so he's like trying to run after her, and they're like, "I know we said we'd let you pass, but your magic in that village is peaceful. We don't want you causing shit, so we're fucking taking your magic away." He's like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not going in there powerless." And they're like, "Well, she's gone. She's fucking skipping away." And he's like, "Fuck, you're right." And he's like, "Take my power. You know, I care about her too much, so I'm gonna fucking go chase after her." They're like, "Yeah, we're finally in Heart Village." And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna split up. We're gonna split up and ask people about Evie's mom. Okay? Tatiana and Claire, obviously you guys stay together and check it out. Me and Evie, we're obviously together to go check things out." We don't really find out like what happened with Tatiana and Claire during this or Kingsley, but we follow Evie and the villain, and then they get captured because these people are like, oh my god, these are the wanted posters. Like this is the villain and his apprentice. And she's like, oh my god, they're saying I'm his apprentice. Like, level up. Like, I'm no longer an assistant. Oh my god, like this is amazing. I'm on a poster. And he's like, shut up. Like, this is awful. Like, now people know who you are. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, no, this is actually awesome. Like, I'm so proud. And then so they lock them up. They're like, fuck. Like, they're gonna fucking give us to King Benedict. They're gonna take the reward. And they find out these kids are like theater kids. And they're like, what the fuck? You guys are theater kids? And they're like, yeah, but we're gonna lock you up like in our theater dungeon below our theater. Our boss is gonna be so happy we got you. And they're like, fuck, their boss is gonna, give us to King Benedict. All of a sudden, boss comes down, but Evie's like, that's not the boss, that's my cousin. And she's like, oh my god, Helen, like, I know you. She's like, oh my god, please help us, like, before the boss gets here, they're gonna give us to King Benedict. Helen's like, I'm the fucking boss of these theater kids, okay? Like, I want you guys to be in this fucking jail, okay? Sucks to suck. Like, this is my theater, those are my theater kids, they're method acting. That's why they kidnapped you. And they're like, fuck. And she like she's like, here's the key, basically, and is like, oops, it's out of reach. Ha 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 ha. And then like goes back up to do theater. So they're like basically in this like basement cage and they're like, oh my god, we need to get this fucking key. Evie's like, she starts stripping. The villain's like, what are you doing? Why are you getting naked right now? And like she's still a little bit like drunk and high kind of. And she's like, obviously I'm gonna throw my clothes at the key and bring it over to me. And he's like, you know what, that's actually genius. Let me give you my shirt. And so she's like stripped down the chemise. She's wearing
The
like a
chemise, yeah.
chemise. Yeah. And he's like, oh my god, I can't look. And she's like, oh my god, abs. Yeah, so they're trying not to like look at each other, but like they're also in a state of undress and in close quarters. And they're she's trying to throw the clothes rope out to get the key, and he's like, you're not even anywhere close. Like you just keep missing. And she like tied her shoe on the end. Like it's not working out. The villain's like, let me do this. So he's throwing it out and he's getting kind of close, but he hit a window and then the window cracked and they hit the window again and they're like, oh my god, there's water on the other side of that window. So water starts pouring in because he cracked the window so much. They're gonna fucking drown. Like they're gonna drown. They can't get the key with the fucking with the fucking rope that they threw. They're like, fuck, fuck, fuck. She's like, I'm gonna fucking kiss him. Like she's like, if we're gonna die, I want to kiss him. She doesn't want to live with any regrets, okay?
Wouldn't be my first fucking thought, but you know what? Pop off.
Well, they're like, there's nothing else we can do. Like, the key's at the bottom of the water. The rope's not gonna get it. They're like, we're fucked. She's like, I'm gonna fucking do what I've always been wanting to do, and I'm gonna kiss him. So she starts macalacking on the villain, and the villain's like, yeah. Okay, but then he's like, "Oh my god, she's drunk. I can't
Right.
kiss her while she's drunk. Like I am nothing if not chivalrous." But she's already like this whole thing got her like sobered up quick. But he doesn't know that. And so he's like, "I don't want to be doing this." And she's like, "Excuse me? I thought we were on the same page." And he's like he's kind of like almost makes it seems like he's disgusted in her. And she's like, so that's how she takes it. But in his mind, he's like, she's drunk. Like, I'm not going to take advantage of her. But what he says outwardly is kind of like, back the fuck up. Like, why would I want to kiss you? Type of thing. Like, he does not express his feelings well. So she's like, what the fuck? Like, you picked me up and were kissing me back, but okay, fuck you. And then all of a sudden, trapdoor opens above their heads. It's Tatiana, Claire, and Kingsley. Somehow they're in like the cage where they're like at the top, And they're like, "Oh my god, come on out, like, we found you, we're so glad we found you." And they're like, anyway, they save them, and they're like, "Yay, yay, we're all saved." And then the theater kids are like, "Haha, we're actually right here." They grab Tristan, and they're like, they hold like a knife to him or something. They grab either Evie or Tristan. They hold like a knife, and they're like, "Oh, you guys aren't escaping, you know, we have you, ha 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 ha." And then Evie's like, "Actually, I have this magical dagger." And she like disarms them, saves Tristan, and she's like, "Fuck you guys," like, and then Helen's like, "Relax. This was all theater. Well, we just wanted to see if you guys were gonna bang or not." Helen's basically like, "Yeah, you guys were never actually in danger. We weren't gonna give you to King Benedict. Like, we just thought this was a fucking hoot and a holler." And then Helen's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, like, your mom was here like a long time ago. She's not here anymore, but she left this for you." And gives it to Evie, and Evie's like, "Okay." And then so they leave Heart Village. They got what they came for. They're disappointed her mom's not there. They go back to the mansion. Evie opens up this like bag that she's given, and it's a corner of a paint of like a frame, basically. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And Gideon's like, "Oh my god, like that's 2 frames from our house. Like, mom used to have so many, like, paintings and shit. Like, she loved paintings and these, like, intricate frames." And Evie's like, "Ugh, now I have to go back to my house." The villain's like, "Everybody knows what you look like now. There's wanted posters. You're not going." Evie's like, "The fuck I am." And then the villain's like, "No, no, no, you're not going. You're gross, you're ugly, and you're not going," basically. And she's like, "Fuck you. Like, I saved your life." This is all in her head. She's like, "Fuck you. I saved your life. You don't even know how I fucking did it. You know, I'm so smart. I solved that riddle. Like, fuck you. You're underestimating me again. What are you gonna do while I'm at your village talking to the guy who makes the frames?" She's like, "I'm gonna go get drinks with this guard." And he's like, "Excuse me." He leaves. He's like, "Damn. Like, she's really pissed off at me. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but maybe it's a good thing. We gotta keep our distance, you know? Things are getting a little too hot and heavy. I'm a villain. You know, I don't want her getting mixed up in that. Her wanted posters everywhere now. I feel bad." He goes to her village. Old lady paints his face because he's like kind of got his hood up, and then when she's done, he gives her like a whole bag of coins and everything, like gold. And she's like, "Oh, no, you don't need to pay me that much. I just wanted like 1 penny," type of thing. And he's like, "No, no, no, no. You did really good work. I'm not gonna, you know, put down your worth. This is what your work is worth." And then she like grabs the villain's like poster that was up near her shop, near her like paint station, and she grabs it and like rips it up, and she's like, "I knew you were good," basically. And then he goes he goes off. There's this festival happening. He goes to the frames, and he's like, "Holy shit, there's a hot woman there. There's a sexy lady there with like red hair or something." And we're like, "Hmm, hold up, sexy lady." And they're like, by sexy lady, obviously I'm talking about Evie. Why is she here? And then we find out that Evie disguised herself, put on a wig, and then the old lady also painted her face, which turns out to be this old lady who lived like next door to her and would like watch Lissa all the time. So she's like the only one in the village that still likes her. And the villain's like, "Oh my god, she's so fucking hot. She's got to get the fuck out of here. Everybody's staring at her. She is so hot. Look at those heels. Look at that skippy dress. Oh my god." And she's just thinking like, "Ha ha ha. See, I knew I could do it. No one recognized me." And then she's like, "Yeah, so I already talked to the frame guy. Like, he doesn't really know shit. Like, we're gonna have to go back to my house. You know, he did give frames to my mom, but like, we're not getting anywhere with him." So they go back to the house, and he's like, "Where should we start?" And he's like, "Let's start in your room, actually." And she's like, "Don't start in my room. Don't start looking around in my room." And he like goes through like her underwear drawer by accident. So funny. And she's like, "Oh my god, those are my undies." And then they start making out. They start making out. they're making out like on her desk or like her dresser or something. You know, she's sitting on it. He's like they're getting into it because they're like she's pissed off at him, he's pissed off at her, and then that's how it escalates in making out. And you think, oh my god, they're finally gonna bang. They're gonna bang on her bed. All of a sudden they hear something downstairs, and you're like, fuck. Of course not. Go downstairs. Malcolm's fucking there. Malcolm's there just sitting on her couch. They're like, Malcolm, what the fuck are you doing here? And Malcolm's like, oh yeah, they fucking burned my bar down because I'm your brother. And the villain's like, damn, that's tough. That sucks. He's like, you want to live with me, Malcolm? Malcolm's like, fuck no, I'm gonna live here. They're like, okay. So Malcolm keeps living there. They find like the painting that the edge of the frame piece goes to. Because Malcolm's like, oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. It's like a portrait, it looks like, of two little girls, and one's her mom, and then one is someone else. It was like RF initials and then the mom's initials. And she's like, oh my god, we have to find out who the fuck this little girl is. This is gonna lead us to my mom. So they go back to the mansion. They're like, fuck. The only person who's gonna know who's in this picture with my mom is my dad. And they have the dad locked up in the dungeon. Like, once they found out that he was the traitor, they locked his ass up. She takes her magical dagger. So she goes to torture the dad. She's like really getting into it. She's loving the torture. She's like cutting him, stabbing him, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm your dad. Like, you're a loser. I was gonna fucking sell you off to the blacksmith. You ruined all my plans. Like, I was rich anyway from the king. Yada, yada, yada. She's like, so you're a fucking deadbeat who had money, but was using all my fucking money and making me work, making me drop out of school and shit for your fucking cover story. You know, all this bullshit. And he's like, yeah, and look what you turned into. You're working for the villain, blah, blah, blah. But finally the dad's like, oh, it hurts too much. Like, oh my god, I'll tell you, I'll tell you. And then so he's like, that bitch is Rena Fortis, your mom's best friend. And that's all he tells her. Like, basically no other information. He's like, good luck fucking finding her, you know? We find out from Gideon, they're like, Gideon, he's like, go ask your brother. Your brother knows about your mom. And she's like, what the fuck? So, like, she ends up chasing Gideon around, and Gideon's like, running away from her, like, no, no. And then she's like, Gideon, what the fuck is dad talking about? Like, he's saying that, you know, you had something to do with mom. Like, basically, not really the mom's torture, but like kind of like psychological torture. Like, they like fucked her up. And she's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, did you have something to do with like stoling mom's spark? That's how I'll put it. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, he's right. I actually have magic and you didn't know, but basically what my magic is, like, I can stop other magic and like dampen other magic. So what he did since his mom's powers, like since they found out about his mom's powers, every night he would basically like touch her forehead or something and be like, dampen your powers, you know, while she's asleep. And one night he forgot to do it because he like went to bed early, and that was when she woke up early the next morning and was like, oh my god, let's go to the field and play catch with my starlight. And so like that's when she threw the giant starlight ball at Gideon, and he was like, but I didn't die because I had the dampening magic, so like I was able to dampen it, I guess, but then somehow the starlight took him to some other universe or whatever. He's like, I don't know where the fuck I went, like I just blipped out of there, went to like another universe, and then blipped back like in right near the kingdom. And he's like, and my memory was lost, and then so I became King Benedict knew who I was, but I didn't know who I was. That's how I became a knight, you know, basically. You thought I was dead. I didn't know who I was. I became a knight, and then my memory slowly started coming back. But he was a knight for 10 years. His memory came back like halfway through that, and he was like, fuck, how the hell do I get out of like the knights, and get back to my family? But he also felt like, can I even go back to my family? Like, I kind of did something fucked up. Like, he could tell that his mom was like kind of suffering when he would dampen her powers, but like he was like, I thought I was doing the good for the kingdom. Dad thought I was doing a good job. But then like working for King Benedict, he kind of realized this guy's fucked up. I don't want to be a knight anymore. And she's like, "Oh my god. Like you kept so much information, but like I'm pissed off, but I still love you. You're still my brother. It's okay." And then the villain, once he finds out what the dad said, he's like, "Oh, Rena Fortis, you say? I think I know someone who might be able to help. But I'm gonna go talk to them, okay?" And kind of like tries to sneak off, basically. But then somehow he goes over to Becky, okay? He goes over to Becky and he's like, and they're like kind of whispering, but then somehow it becomes a loud conversation. Becky's like, "I don't give a fuck, like let the world know I am Becky Fortis." She's like, "That's my real name." Evie's like, "Okay, you're related to Rena Fortis." And she's like, "Yeah, so there's this thing called the Fortis Fortress, and like basically my whole family are like warriors, like they're so strong. They can fight anyone. They're on good terms with Renadon, but they don't really like King Benedict. Like, they're their own people. They don't really get involved in politics." So she's like, "Oh my god, like, we're gonna have to go to my fucking house to get any more information. We're gonna have to talk to my fucking mom." And she's like, "Let me tell you guys right now, my mom's gonna put on the charm, and you guys are gonna like her. But I'm telling you, don't fall for her shit. Like, she's fucking fake. She's a two-faced fucking bitch. I hate my mom." Basically. They get on the dragon. Blade's with them, Claire's with them, Tatiana's with them, Villain's there, Evie's there. She's like, "All right, I'll lead you guys to my house." She's like pretty quiet the whole ride because she's like fucking, PTSD, like not having a good time. And Evie's like trying to be there for her, basically, like kind of gave her like a hand squeeze or something and like was trying to reassure her. They get to this open field and they're like, "What are we doing here? Well, why do we stop here?" And she's like, "Chillax." And she goes over, she looks like she's trying to put a key into the air, and they're like, "Did she lose her mind?" She unlocks it, and then they see this like crazy, lots of plants, like beautiful giant mansion situation going on. Lots of plants. Lots of plants. Okay. They start walking. The plants are like waving to Becky. They're like, "Oh my god, they're like playing with her hair. Like the plants are like sentient, okay?" We find out that's like the Fortis magic, and like whoever's like head of the house gets like plant magic, basically. And they have like the rarest plants, they have like the most plants, and like these plants basically have a mind of their own. They love Becky. They're all like touching Becky and they're like waving to her. They're basically, welcoming her home. Yeah, so they get to like the front of the house. The guy's like, "Oh, Madam Becky, come right in. Come to the drawing room, your family will be there shortly." Like it's very like proper, if you will. Goes to the drawing room. One of her brothers is there. He's the second brother, I want to say. I'm pretty sure. And he's like, "Oh my god, sister, like I missed you." And Evie's like, "Oh my god, your brother's hot." And the villain's like, "Excuse me? Like, don't be talking about that here." And then the brother's like, "Oh my god, you brought the villain?" And then all of a sudden, like, the atmosphere kind of like changes. And as soon as he realizes that that's the villain, the plants fucking grab him. The plants fucking grab the villain. Evie's trying to like cut the plants off of him, and he's like, "No, no, no, you can't hurt the plants. You can't hurt the plants." And then the plants fucking take the villain away. The villain's like I can't breathe. Like they're like fucking strangling him, and Evie's like, and they take him like behind the bookcase because the plants are all over this house. Take him behind the bookcase, like down this tunnel, and like Evie can't get to them because it's like plants only. It's plants only tunnel. I guess you can't like fit through or whatever. And she's like, "What the fuck was that?" And the brother's like, they're gonna take him to the arena." And she's like, "The arena? Hello?" And Becky's like, "What the fuck? How could you let that happen? Like, you should have just let her, like, free him from the plants or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's because he's got dark magic." Yeah, the plants, like, they're scared of dark magic. He has to go get tested. They're like, "Huh?" So we find out she has two other brothers, and they're kind of like sparring in this arena place. And that's where Tristan gets dropped. And they're like, "Ooh, you evil villain! Like, you're gonna get tested by Destiny's monster, Destiny's creature." They're like, "Oh my god, and you're gonna die because there's no way Destiny's creature is gonna let you live." And so, Destiny's creature is like this fucking fog thing. They let it out. Like, think of like where a lion would be kept in an arena. That's what I'm thinking. And they lift up the gate. Destiny's creature comes out. It's like this fog thing. Tristan's like, "What the fuck?" It like takes him over and like basically goes into his mind, I guess. He's like passed out in the dirt. Everything's happening in his mind, this whole like test situation. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we meet Rena Fortis. The mom comes out, the mom and dad come out, and they're like, "Oh my god, you're here. Yay, I'm so happy." And she's like, "The fucking plants just took my boss. Like, we gotta fucking go save him." And then she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, in a minute, in a minute." And she's like putting on the charm for Evie and everything. And at first, Evie's like, "Oh my god, she seems so nice." But then she's like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait. Becky told me she's a fucking snake. So I gotta back the fuck up from her." And she's like, "So where's my mom?" And then Rena changes the subject. Becky's mom changes the subject. And then she's like, "Weird, where's my mom?" And then so she has to ask like so many times, like, what the fuck's going on with her mom. And then they're like, "Maybe we should go check on Tristan. Like, he's probably getting fucking gobbled up by Destiny's monster. Like, you guys should probably go check on him." And Evie's like, "Fuck, you're right. Like, oh my god, he's in danger. Let me go check on him." She sees him passed out, in the sand of the Coliseum arena, and she's like, "Holy shit, like there's this weird fog around him. That's Destiny's monster. Like, we got to save him." The brother's like, "There's nothing you can do. Like, he's done for." And she's like, "Try me, bitch." She jumps over the stands, jumps down to the sand, and she's like, "I'm gonna save him." And then she goes and like basically grabs him, and she enters into like the whole mind situation trial. And he's like, King Benedict's like trying to kill Evie or something in this trial, and he's basically like, "I'll do anything for Evie," blah blah blah. And then Evie comes in there and she's like, "That's not me." Like, he ends up saving Evie and then starts making out with her. He's like, "This isn't really Evie." And then Destiny's monster's like, "Free me from the Fortis Fortress and I'll let you have Evie like forever." And he's like, "This isn't really Evie though. This is fake Evie." And he's like, "Yeah, but like it's the best you're gonna fucking get. You're obviously not gonna get the real one." Obviously. And then like when he's like, "No, I only want the real Evie," that's when like the real Evie comes out and she's like, "Why the fuck is there a fake me here? Like, what's going on?" So the Destiny monster's like, "I'm not letting him go. Like, he's done for. He's dead. Like, I guess you can leave. You didn't really do anything, so You can just leave him be. And she's like, no, I'm not going anywhere without him. And he's like, you'd fucking sacrifice yourself for this piece of shit? And she's like, yeah, if you're, if you're keeping him, you're keeping me too, because, there's no way I'm going anywhere without him. And he's like, and she's like, you can even have my dagger. And he's like, hang on a minute, that's like your most precious possession. Like, you can't just be like giving that to people. Like, you'd give up your most precious possession for him. And she's like, it's just a dagger. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, okay, well, I can see you guys are fucking like tight. You know what? You're right. I'll let both of you go. You guys pass the test. He's pure heart, you're pure of heart. And then the Fates monster's like, psst, psst, to Tristan, whispers sweet nothings in Tristan's ear, and Evie doesn't get to hear what it is. And then they leave the mind. Tristan's kind of like in a coma afterwards. Like, he's not back to himself yet. Like, he's okay. He's okay now, but he's kind of in a coma. And then Rena, also Becky's mom, tells Evie, she's like, okay, like, I didn't want to mention it before, but like, sorry to drag you along, but I have seen your mom. She was here, but like, she's with like our best healer. We brought her, she's somewhere else. She's in another your princess is in another castle, okay? So she's like, but like, I'll ring her up. I'll say, hey, yo, your daughter's here. Like, get the fuck over here ASAP. you know? She's like, I'll fucking send her a letter by pigeon. And she's like, just wait here, like 3 nights. She'll be here. And then you guys can have your reunion and all that jazz. And Evie's like, okay, this is kind of weird, but whatever you say. And like, it's kind of like rude to Rena, because she's like, I'm here for Becky. Like, I stand Becky. I know something weird's going on. I know you don't treat Becky with respect. And like, Rena was trying to like put on the charm with Evie, like, oh my god, you're so much better than my daughter. Like, you're so much more well behaved. Like, and Evie's like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk about your daughter like that. That's fucked up. And then Becky was actually listening this whole time. Her mom didn't know. And her mom's like, oh, awkward. Like, didn't know you were there, Becky. Ooh, okay. I wasn't saying shit about you. And then that whole thing ends. They're like, okay, Evie, like, you gotta, like, leave. You gotta go to sleep. You gotta do something. Like, you can't be at the villain's bedside this whole time. So she's like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm apparently, like, there's training grounds, like, right outside the medical wing, I guess. And then she goes out there and sees the brothers training, and they're like, oh, yeah, like, you think you can beat us? And she's like, no. And they're like, okay, well, like, at least get some, like, self-defense shit. Like, come on. And then so she's fighting with them. She's learning some self-defense, I guess, for a little bit, getting sweaty, and then one of the brothers is on top of her, and you're like, she thinks all the brothers are hot, like, oh my god, he's on top of her. And then somehow Tristan wakes up, comes storming out looking for Evie, and he's like, get the fuck off of her right now, that's my apprentice. And they're like, whoa, 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 we're just trying to teach her some self-defense. Don't lose your shit, old man. Basically. And they're like, yeah, we all know you're like in love with her. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? She's just my apprentice. I'm just looking out for her. Screaming. Screaming inside the house. Screaming inside the house. Evie starts running. She starts running to the screaming, and she's like, oh my fucking god. Tristan's like, what the fuck's going on? Why are we running towards the screaming? Evie's like, gets down on her knees and starts like screaming too, and they're like, what the fuck? Why is she like having a breakdown? Like, what's going on? And she's like, that's my mom. That screaming's my mom. What the fuck is going on? Turns out there's this memory plant, special magical plant, and it's playing her screams because her mom was screaming at the house at one point, and Claire found these plants and like was trying to figure out like what's this plant got going on. And so she was like fiddling with it, and then it started making her mom screams. Rena comes out. Evie's like, "What the fuck? Why do I hear my mom screams?" And she's like, "Relax, your mom's not here right now. Like, that's just the memory plant." She's like, "Okay, then why the fuck is the memory plant screaming? Like, make it make sense." And she's like, "All right, all right, all right. Look. We actually did kind of help King Benedict out. Like, we were trying to, he needed your mom's magic, and we were trying to, like, make it less of a burden on her, and trying to, like, siphon her magic so King Benedict could use it, like, without her mom, basically." And then Becky's like, "Oh, so, like, what the fuck you try to do to me?" And her mom's like, so we find out that the whole reason that she has this whole thing with her mom is because Becky ended up being, like, inheriting the flower magic from her mom. And so she ends up, that means that she inherits the Fortis, like, everything. Like, she's, like, the heir to it because she inherits this magic. But we find out that the mom tried siphoning the magic from her. I don't remember why she was trying to siphon the magic from her. It has something to do with the grandma's illness. Like, I think King Benedict wanted her magic too. And so she tried to take it from Becky and give it to King Benedict because he said he was gonna cure their grandma of the mysterious illness. Which, little do they know, King Benedict's the one who fucking caused it anyway. And she's like, "I'll do anything for my mom," Becky's grandma. Like, I just want to save her life. Is that such a crime that I love my mommy? And Becky's like, "Yeah, it's a fucking crime when you hurt your daughter. Like, that was fucking torture, and you couldn't fucking siphon my magic. And then you try to do it to Evie's mom, and clearly it fucking hurts because she was fucking screaming." She's basically like, yeah, she died after that. Like, she couldn't handle it. You know, her magic, like, exploded out of her, and she's dead. I'm sorry, Evie. That's just the way it is. And Evie's like, "Huh?" So I'm here for no reason. Basically, my mom is fucking dead. This whole goose chase led up to fucking nothing. Cool. We're fucking out of here. They fucking storm out of there. All of a sudden, there's Valiant Guard. They're like, "Hello? This is a fortress? We saw fucking Becky open the gate. Like, they can't just fucking get in here. How the fuck are they here?" They're fucking surrounding them. They're like, "Oh my god, Tristan, like, use your magic, use your magic." And he like kills some of them with his magic, but then we find out that his magic's kind of going haywire, and he's not sure why, and we think it's because of Renadon's prophecy. Like, if the prophecy isn't completed, then basically the magic's kind of like leeching out of the world, and everyone with magic kind of like their magic goes away. So it kind of seems like his magic's going haywire because the prophecy isn't solved. So they're kind of like, "Oh, maybe King Benedict's right about the prophecy. Maybe we need to complete it." And then so the Valiant Guard is like almost going to capture them. They're shooting arrows at them. Oh my god, arrows coming right for Tristan. Evie jumps in front of it. Tristan's like, "No." Like, I picture it all happening in slow motion. "No." And Evie jumps out in front of it. But Arrow gets sliced in two. Tristan thinks she was shot because she, like, fell to the ground because something happened. Wink, wink. We don't know what. My guess is that's her magic activating, and she actually does have magic. And then Tristan's like, "Oh my god, you were stabbed. Oh my god." Because, like, why else would she fall to the ground? Because her magic came out and, it made her, like, kind of pass out for a second. And then he's like, "Oh my God, you are okay. Like, thank God." And they like got rid of they killed the rest of the soldiers. And he's like, "Oh my God, where are you hurt? Where are you hurt?" He's like, "Wait, you didn't get stabbed by the arrow?" And she's like, "No, like the arrow like went in half like right before it got to my skin. Like it just fucking." And he's like, "Oh, you must have been holding the dagger and that probably split the arrow." And I'm like, "I don't think so. I think it was all magic, what away." But they explain it away as the dagger, so she has no idea she has what I think is magic. They're like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." And they're like, "Rena, double fuck you. Like, you betrayed us to Benedict. Like, you fucking suck. You're the worst." And she's like, "I'm only trying to help my mom, Becky's grandma." And she's like, "That's why I've been working with King Benedict." And Becky's basically like, You're still working with him after all this fucking shit that's happened? Your best friend dies, you lose your fucking daughter, and you're still working with him? Like, that's fucked up, mom. Like, you were gonna get rid of my employer." And she's like, "Well, I thought if I got rid of your employer, like, you'd come back to us." And Becky's like, "What the fuck? Get the fuck out. Like, we're getting the fuck out of here. I hate you, mom, even more now." Basically. And her mom sucks ass. Like, we're like, "Oh yeah, we fucking hate her mom. We
I hate
understand you
her
now, Becky." Yeah. And like
so
Becky's
much.
obviously feels so bad for Evie and Tristan. She's like, "Oh my God, Evie, I'm so sorry. Like, I would never have brought you here if I knew this was gonna happen. Like, I'm so sorry about your mom. I can't believe my mom did that. Like, oh my God, I feel so bad." And Evie's like, "It's okay, not your fault. That was your mom." And they kind of like bond over Becky's mom being a fucking bitch. And so Evie and Becky are tight now. We love Becky. You know, find out her trauma. They go back to the house and they're like, "Oh, fuck. Like mom's dead. No leads. This fucking sucks." On their way back to the house, we find out like while this whole thing's going on that the barrier has been not working because of this whole magic shit going down. And so the barrier around Massacre Mansion that hid it, kind of like the Fortis Fortress, made it look invisible. Now you can start seeing like windows and shit because the magic's going down. And then basically the whole barrier ends up going down in this time that they're out. And they're like, "Fuck." And the malevolent guard and everything is like panicking. Keeley, who's head of the malevolent guard, is like, "Oh my God, like what the fuck do we do? Oh shit, like the Valiant Guard's gonna find us, King Benedict's people." And they do. They attack them. Valiant Guards attack the manor, and Keeley's batting down the hatchets, you know. They're throwing flaming pumpkins at them. And Gideon's like, "Hey, I can help." And Keeley's like, "No, we're fucking watching your ass. Like, you were a Valiant Guard. You're not gonna fucking help." He saves Keeley's life. Like, threw an arrow, like, shot an arrow or whatever. He, like, saved her. And Keeley's like, "Okay, okay, you can fucking help." He helps. He kind of feels bad about it. She's like, "I used to work with those guys and you guys are like just killing them." And then he gets over it. He helps them out. Valiant Guard almost get into the manor. Like it got kind of scurry. Got kind of scurry there for a minute. And like Lissa's in the manor. That would have been bad, you know? There's a child there. Anyway, they don't get into the manor. We're like, "Woo, yay, we saved the day." But like manor's still visible. Like it's not good. Come to find out, her dad escaped during all this hullabaloo. And she's like, "How the fuck did he escape? Like, there's no way they would have been able to get him out." Turns out someone slipped a note under Alyssa's door and was like, "You gotta go talk to your papa." And like she freed him because like he's like a manipulator, you know. Also, we find out after all this too that Kingsley is actually Prince Alexander Kingsley from the Southern Kingdom and used to be the villain's BFF. Like that's
What?
who that's who they used to hang out with. Claire, Tatiana, Malcolm, Tristan, and Alexander. That was like the buddy circle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh my god. So like he was a prince. The villain tells her this and he's like, oh, don't be mad, like I didn't tell you. Evie's like, I fucking knew. What do you mean? And he's like, how did you know? She's like, he's wearing a fucking crown on his head. Like, and you guys kind of like hinted at it so many times. Also, you got to show them the Kingsley frog. Here he is holding up his signs. And he's got a crown on his head. And she's like, obviously I fucking knew he wasn't just some random ass fucking frog. Like, what are you talking about? And then
Right,
they
what
kind
frog
of
can write?
yeah, exactly.
I love the way he spells help.
And we also find out like the enchantress that turned him into a frog was because Tristan's mom hates his guts because of his magic. We don't really get much information on that. We just find out that she fucking sucks, hates his guts, hired the enchantress to kill Tristan. Alexander walked in the door first instead of Tristan, and for some reason it turned him into a frog instead. So we find out that that's why Alexander's a frog. Then we have Tea Party with Lissa. After everything, Tristan's like, I gotta have my tea party with Lissa. Like, but then we see one of the plates that the teacup's on, and we're like, that kind of looks like the sky. And then Evie kind of remembers that there was, when she went to that weird acid trip cave with that, sky monster that made the trees, she's like, huh, I remember his sky having like this weird, like jagged situation going on. It looked like some of the sky was almost missing. And then she's like, why does that plate kind of look like the sky? And she's like, oh my god, Lissa, like, I need to take this. I need to fucking go now. Lissa's like, my tea party. You're ruining my tea party. And Tristan's like, I'm so sorry, Lady Lissa. Like, this is very important. We'll come back to tea, I promise. And she's like, whatever. I guess you can go. What the hell? Lissa and Tristan are like, we gotta get back to the fucking acid trip cave right now. Right now. We gotta get there. They fucking book it on the dragon, get there as fast as possible, go back down there, and it's nighttime. And she's like, oh my god, like he said, see you again, like when you can see my stars or something like that. Like, she was like, oh, he meant like he wants me to come back at nighttime, like obviously. And she's like, oh my god, thank god it's nighttime. They go in the cave, same thing, they fall on a cloud, yada yada, and they're talking to the monster and they're like, oh my god, here's your like piece of sky. He's like, you're the fucking best, like thank you for bringing my sky back. Puts the sky piece back. I don't know how that works. He's a giant monster thing, and he's like, you can ask me for anything, like, because you brought my sky back. Now, apparently, because you helped me out, I can do something for you, even though I said last time I can't do anything for you. I don't know. And she's like, my mom, like, they said my mom's dead, like, my mom. And he's like, your mom's not dead. And I can actually help you out with that. Like, she didn't really ask for it, but she was just like, I don't know what to do about my mom. Like, I really need my mom. And he's like, I can help you with that. I can give you your mom. And she's like, my mom's dead. He's like, your mom's not dead. She's actually a star in the sky. Remember that star you've been wishing on and good things have been happening? That's your mom. That's actually your mom. Fucking weird. This book is fucking crazy. So he plucks the lucky star out of the sky. He's like, this is actually your mom. Boop. Here she is. Star becomes her mom. I guess she's been watching over them. She's like, I know most of what happened because, like, I was in the sky watching. Okay? Sometimes I kind of went into, like, a dormant coma and didn't see anything, and then sometimes I came back, so I didn't see everything. Don't worry. and like her power is kind of like, I guess, gone dormant since she was a star for so long. Don't understand how that happens. He brings them back up, and they're like, but the magic's going, like, you got to get out of this cave because the cave's starting, weird things are happening. They're like, oh my god, the cave's going down, like, you got to get the fuck out of here. He's like, I'm not going anywhere, this is my sky, if the cave goes down, I'm going down with the cave. And they're like, no. And he's like, when you see the trees, think of me. And we're like, oh. It was so sad. Like, this really minor monster random character, but it was very sad. And so
So sad.
he's like, go, here's your mom. And then he dies. Like, the cave, like, crumbles in on itself. He's fucking gone. They try to
Mhm.
come back. Nothing's there. There's no more sky. He's not there. And they're like, oh, he's gone. They go back to the house. They got Mama Sage. They read the prophecy, the part of the prophecy they have again, and then Gideon's kind of like, unmask, you say? He's like, there were two people that were unmasked, and it kind of just ends there,
Mhm.
and that's book 2.
That is book 2. Well,
All
thank you for
right.
being here, Jill.
Bye, guys. Good night. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Bye,
Good
devotees.
night. Thanks for being
night.
here. Appreciate you.